Hello, students. How are you all? So, this is the third segment of this chapter, Electoral Politics. And here we will discuss what makes elections in India democratic. Is it this system is free and fair or not? So, students, after every elections, there are allegations about unfair practices by all parties. Newspapers and television reports refers to unfair and illegal means used to win the elections. And rigging, very important word it is rigging. Rigging means capture, boothing, illegal way, right? Where the wrong, your false activities can be seen. Okay, so this is the use of unfair practices in elections. Most of the reports about unfair means used are like first is we can say inclusion of false names and exclusion of genuine names in the voters list, and second, misuse of government facilities and officials by ruling party, like leaders can be in defense uh, to officer. Third, excessive use of money by rich candidate can big parties, they they buy votes. Fourth, intimidation of voters and rigging on the polling day. So it happens most of the areas, most of the constituency, you can see it happens, right? So next is election commission, student. Election commission, so it is independent body to conduct election, a simple way of checking whether the elections are fair or not. Is it is to look at who conduct the elections, right? And then independent and very powerful election commission, it is in our country elections are conducted by an independent and very powerful election commission, which is called EC. The chief election commissioner, CEC, is appointed by the president of India. Once appointed, the CEC is not answerable to the president or the government, and he cannot be removed even if the government disagrees with his decision or actions. So he, the election commission have power during that time because he has to look after everything. And if it thinks that the polling was not fair, it can cancel a polling and order re-poll in the some booths or even the entire constituency. So it's present chief commissioner, right? So the election commissions, the power is completely uh, on the hand of CEC. And the power of EC include, EC means election commissioner, right? So here from EC, from announcements to result declaration. Okay, the constitution has empowered the EC to take decision on every aspects of conduct and control of election, from the time of declaration of elections to the declaration of result. So these all decision taken by the election commissioner. Next is it can implement the code of conduct and punish any party or candidate for breaking or violating any rule. Rule during the period of elections, EC can order that government to follow this guidelines, including transfer of government officials, and the government officers who work on election duty are under the control of EC and not the government, right? So next is popular participations. So here we will talk about the popular participation. Okay, students. So another way of testing the quality of election is to see whether maximum number of voters participated in it. If the elections are not free and fair, people will not exercise their vote. And people's participation in election is usually measured by the voters turnout figure. It indicates the percent of eligible voters who actually cast their vote. For example, in 2004 elections, Delhi had 87.6 lakh eligible voters. And the eligible voters who actually cast their votes in Lok Sabha election were 41,003 41 lakh 3,687. So the turnout was 46.85. So in the last 50 years, the turnout in Europe and North America has declined. In India, it has remained stable or actually gone up. So here most of the people has started giving votes, and the eligible voters who actually cast their votes in Lok Sabha elections, and they all because now people are aware what they have to do, what they should do. Next is common people in India attach a lot of importance to elections. They feel that through elections they can bring pressure on political party to adopt policies and programs favorable to them. They also feel that their vote matter in the way things are run in the country, right? So there are some important points which I have explained here, student. And next we'll talk about the acceptance of elections outcomes. So what is this, students? Here are some expectances of elections outcome. So final test of the free and fairness of election has in the outcome itself. It If elections are not free or fair, the outcome always favors the powerful. The results of election in India are a testimony to their fairness. In the last 15 years, 3 out of 4 elections held resulted in the defeat of the ruling party. In USA, a sitting election representative hardly hardly ever lost season elections. And in India, about half of sitting MPs, MLAs tend to lose elections. So candidates who spend a lot of money on buying votes and candidates with known criminal connections have often lost elections. And next, I could say, bearing very few disputed elections, the electoral outcomes are usually accepted as people's verdict by the defeated party. Right. So to conclude, we can say, mm, that elections in India are basically free and fair. The party that wins an election and forms the government does so because people have chosen it over its rivals. A few candidates may win purely on the basis of money, power, and unfair means, but the overall verdict of general elections still reflects popular preference, right? So but there are certain challenges that exist not only in India but also in many established democracies, which include candidates and parties with a lot of money may not be sure of their victory, but they enjoy a big and unfair advantage over smaller parties and independents, right? And next we can say, in some parts of country the candidate with a criminal connection have been able to push other out of the electoral race and secure a ticket from major parties. And some families tend to dominate political parties. Tickets are distributed to relatives from these families, right? It happens in the elections. And next, smaller parties and independent candidates suffer a huge disadvantages compared to big parties. So these deeper issues are matter of great concern for those who believe in democracy. That is why citizens, social activists, and organizations have been demanding reforms in our electoral system. So, according to the code of conduct, the system is going on, and many more changes we can see in the laws also. So, this is all about the electoral politics, students. Just once you have to read this chapter very carefully, and the important things, there are some words: student, code of conduct, constituency, incumbent, level playing field, rigging, turnout. So these all have to, you have to read. So code of conduct is called, like in Hindi, Achar Sanhita, a set of norms, a set of guidelines to be followed by the political parties and contesting candidates during election time. Okay, during the election time. Next is constituency, is voters in a geographical area who elect a representative to the legislative bodies. Whatever I said to you last time when I told you about the constituency, that time I told you, like, this is our country, and there are many more areas, geographical um, areas, who elect a person representative to the voters in elections, right? This is one constituencies, this is one, this is one, this is another one, this also, right? So here we'll get one MLA, here we'll get one MLA. So from everywhere we will get one, there will be a one winner. Okay, so this is called constituency, right? Incumbent. So incumbent is a current holder of a political office. Usually the choice for the voters in elections is between the incumbent party or candidate can those who oppose them. Next is level playing field, condition in which all parties and candidates contesting in an election have equal opportunities, okay, to appeal for the for votes and to carry out elections campaign. And next is rigging. So rigging is, student, it's a kind of fraud and malpractices indirect by party or candidate to be increase its votes, right? Some false, we can say. Next is turnout, the percentage of eligible voters who cast their votes in an elections, right? Now next is the exercise, students, which there are some questions which you have to do in your uh, fair notebook. So this much only for today, the chapter is over. And one more time, students, just read the chapters very carefully, and every word you have to read. It is very important. When you will read the chapter, then it will be easy to understand to you, right? And keep on watching the videos if you will not facing any problem. Thank you so much, students.